I never actually made a video before that, even though it was cut off. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I would be more inclined to delete that video as opposed to, I mean, yeah, there was a couple of like things I was talking about that might be considered, deep as far as what I was starting to say before the disconnect notification appeared. Is that I was talking about like sharing space with people, and I was also getting into the corners I cut and like my living budget to take trips to Bangkok, Thailand, and uh, I came to a realization one morning or one day that as many like corners that I cut, I can go into something my aunt told me, but this is something. As many corners that I cut, it's not really worth the money I would have to spend on vacation time, or I hate to use the word holiday. That's something that Europeans, or at least Australians say. But yeah, it's not really as much as I enjoy myself on these trips in Europe and um, Asia is someplace I'm really looking forward to going to. It's not really like worth some of the shit I go through, some of the shit that made me um, the feelings I accumulated before I left to come back home. And right now, I was talking on the phone with this woman, and I was telling her exactly what situation I was in, and not to say that well, the easiest thing to say is right now I'm trying to formulate Plan B. So when I like return to Gainesville and my worst fears are sort of played out, like play by play, or you know, just as how I would have predicted if I were to put any money on it. Then I could tell myself, okay, right now it's time to switch to Plan B, or just be prepared, for I don't know. Um, Lots of times things don't really work out the way you ideally want them to. Like, you go to a store, buy a lottery ticket, and you're betting for this ticket to pay off your debt, your student loans, your like, every fantasy you've ever imagined. But yeah, most of the time you have to, sort of have a plan B set up for the statistical, mathematical breakdown of how your um, initial view of things is not going to play out. So I have between, well, in the 4 days, I'm gonna definitely try to draw up Plan B and possibly a Plan C. And, worst case scenario, which is Plan D. Try to make things work as far as like making the best out of a bad situation. So yeah, I know I talked about my BiPAP machine. It's definitely something that I can sort of, I mean, I can sleep without it, but after the sleep I had last night, it would be sort of like it's not in my best interest not to use the machine, only because there's an SD card in it, and that's supposed to go to my doctor whenever he requests it. And I learned that like if I don't use the machine and it's shown on this SD card and the doctor sees it, long story short, um, I'm going to be responsible for paying for the machine as opposed to Medicare, Medicaid. So I guess last night was about the fact that a, it's in my best interest to use this machine, and B, I mean, there might be some circumstances, like for example, I'm supposed to use distilled water. I went up the street to the supermarket to buy 4 gallons of it, so I gotta maybe look at the paperwork, call the company, and let them know I might be in a different country. When I mean different country, I might be in a country where the drinking water isn't even safe to drink, or that's the tap water that comes out the sink isn't safe to drink. And there's, my dad even asked the technician, is filtered water okay? And then I guess what the technician was trying to say is, like, at first he said don't use it without distilled water. There was some gray area, and then he finally said, okay, distilled water is recommended. But yeah, I gotta get to the bottom of that, and I also gotta call Richmond Hill Sleep Center just to really let them know, like, information that I didn't have initially, and whether that'll get in the way. And I'm sure everything's going to work out. Right now, I'm sort of in the position, or uh, I'm in a position to sort of weigh out the cost of convenience. Um, there's actually a hostel in Gainesville that's $25 a night. Well, they say recommended. I know this is a derogatory word I shouldn't say, but I know I can Jew them down below that, but I'm not going to. I'd rather just. There were a couple of things I saw on Craigslist where I might, if I might just use the weekend or the days where where I can't reach somebody in the office to actually, at the very least, send out some emails stating that right now I'm in a position where I don't know if the ideal situation once I return in 4 days is going to work out. So I'm sort of trying to reach out to you before I hear like a final decision that's being made, and if it's not in my favor, I could sort of give you a phone call, give you a deposit for or refundable deposit. I guess this particular woman's going to use it for a background check, just to be able to share, be roommates. So yeah. Right now, I don't even want to go on this. Me and my neighbor were talking about focus groups, and that was something I talked about in the video yesterday. But I hate to even, go to those different websites, fill out those forms, questionnaires involving exactly what may be the right case study for me. And even if I were to lie and, say that I like, as far as like food is concerned, like cheesecake. Cheesecake is, one of those things I tried once, like eating a whole olive, and it just wasn't something that, I mean, would I lie about it, for a focus group for money? Yeah, I probably would. I'd probably be willing to do the fear factor thing as far as a new product. But, yeah, right now I was going into the focus group things that I'd rather not fill out, as opposed to going on Craigslist and inquiring about, sharing an apartment or something with somebody. So I'm here in New York. I'll probably pay up to like $400, or I've had the option. So you would think in Gainesville, Florida, the cost of living would be cheaper, which, I mean, it is in some ways, but for $400, you're like guaranteed to get a shithole. And when I say like $400, I mean $400 a month. You would think, like, sometimes you go to other parts of the country, like San Francisco, where the cost of living, or at least rent, is, really, they were doing a comparison with the minimum wage and how much there's an imbalance. So yeah, there's another option I considered, but I'd rather not put myself in a position where I got like a $2,000 machine, plus at some point between now and when I leave for my next vacation in October, I'm probably going to invest in an actual, like, battery. When I say battery, this thing is actually it's over $600. It's actually close to $700, but I actually found a coupon to lower the cost of the actual battery. It's funny because I was actually talking to a neighbor about the Tesla battery, but I'm getting this in particular because it's something that's portable and it could fit right into the travel thing that came with my my BiPAP machine. So carrying around extra something that wouldn't even support humidifier, or at least it said heated humidifier, which I gotta really before I rule that out. It's just, even best case scenario, I hear the answers I want to hear between that actual physical device. That's actually smaller than the adaptation kit that was made for my device, and would be made to fit into a cigarette lighter into a car. And right now, with the last thing I want to do is return to Europe and explore Asia, and um, carry around more bulky shit than I need to. And like, just traditionally you're supposed to backpack, and the machine, the kit and the carrying case, that's the word I was trying to look for before, was I would say it would fit up between like a third of my carry-on bag. That meets the carry-on regulations. It'll fit somewhere between like a third and a half of it, and it's sort of, people say, oh yeah, you could travel with it. It would be more ideal to travel with something of that nature if you're actually checking bags. And with Norwegian Airlines, it's not, I would say, like, typically you spend $25 if you're you're checking in the bag. Norwegian, I believe, is somewhere between like 50, I would say $70, I believe, if you want to like check in the bag, or at least for a continental flight. Actually, the first trip I did to Europe, I actually did through U.S. Airways, and I was kind of surprised because for international flights, you can check in one free bag, and they actually fed you. And as opposed to Norwegian Airlines, not only do they charge you like almost highway robbery prices for checking in the bag, but you would pay like anywhere between $42 and $50 just to like have a meal on board the flight. And when I say meal, I say hot meal, only because you almost treat it as if like you're part of first class, where the flight attendants know ahead of time where your seat number is. The fact that you pay $42 for a hot meal, like drinks, dessert, possibly like something at like a takeaway bag. But actually, if you don't pay that $42, then you don't. I'll get back to the Norwegian thing in a second. I'm just talking about. I was just thinking about the last time someone fucked me out of my money, and well, not DC aside, that's another deal. If you're anytime you like make those particular things, it's just like a weed buy. You're almost put yourself in a position to where, like, even in Portugal, I put myself in that position because it was something that I clearly wanted, or not just one thing. They're trying to sell me on something else. But I digress from Norwegian Airlines because someone was telling me. Hold on for 1 second. Yeah. Mom? Yeah, what's up? Um, just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna do one thing.